Welcome to this week's edition of Black Authors Matter TV, where we interview the latest movers and shakers in the African American literary community. You'll meet some old friends, discover new ones, and stay abreast of the latest book developments around the country and even the world. So sit back and relax for the next 2 hours with Black Authors Matter TV co-hosts Gwen Richardson and Dr. Rhonda Lawson.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Black Authors Matter TV. I'm Gwen Richardson, your host for tonight, and Rhonda will most likely not be on at all. She had a speaking engagement that was a conflict, and she didn't realize it until later in the day. So, welcome to the show, and we have another amazing lineup like we always do. I do have a few housekeeping notes. The National Black Book Festival, as far as vendor space, is sold out, but the general admission is free. If you want the full festival experience, the tickets are available on our website, and the website is nationalblackbookfestival.com. And we're in for a very exciting year this year. So we welcome you all to the show. And for those of you all who are coming to the event, stay abreast of our Facebook page and our Instagram page to see who all is going to be there. So our first, and since I have to do double duty, I'm going to be looking down, the up and down, because I have to check the website for comments. And we are giving away one book tonight, a book by our third guest. So our first guest is a duo, so to speak, because they are author and illustrator of a book about Black Barbies. And so we're going to admit both of them so we can find out about their work. And Tony Benita, thank you for your comment. So our two guests are Diane Johnson, and I guess she's got married, so she's Johnson Feelings. No, okay. So unmute so I can find out. Is it Diane Johnson?
No, it's just Dinah Johnson.
Oh, Dinah. Dinah.
Let me change my name. Sorry.
Okay. Are you under? So you have more than one identity. That's okay. A lot of us do. So, and then Kayla Mahaffey is the illustrator, and the book is Face to Faces behind you, correct?
Yes, Face to Face.
Okay, and now is it about Black Barbies? That was the
no.
idea. It's not, because it says
that's a different book. Barbies. That's a different book. The book that Kayla and I did together is Face to Face.
Yeah. Okay, I got confused. Okay, all right. So, Face to Face, it looks like it's a boy and a girl, and so what are they? What is it about? What are they doing?
Well, I don't know if you want to. I don't even need to take it. Okay, so coming up with like the concept. I know like the HarperCollins, they were like saying they wanted something that about like the connection of like children meeting each other, how to like socialize, and then like like making friends and all like that thing. So they wanted me to come up with like a concept for the cover to like show like two pairs coming together. It's like like seeing each other, becoming friends, being like greeting each other, and like so that's what we came up with. But we wanted everything to have like a little bit of color, have a little bit like joy, happiness. So I know I had to come up with something like I have to have like flowers and like just like different like sunset stuff. So I did that first, but I know they said they wanted a connection, so I kind of put two different characters from the actual book, and I had them like kind of meeting in the front. So it was like we went through a few concepts. I think one was like before it was like one kid on the front, one kid on the back. So when they opened the pages, like they'll like be facing each other. But they didn't. That concept was kind of thrown out. They were like, let's keep it all on the front page. So that's what the final concept ended up being. So they wanted to know what connection. So I was like, okay, they're going to be staring at each other and looking at each other, greeting each other, smiling, just giving like a good intro to like friendship. So yeah, that's what we came up with.
Well, the cover is beautifully done. And so you did the cover and the illustrations on the inside, I'm assuming. And so Dinah, you wrote the words for the book.
Right. I wrote the words over 25 years ago.
Okay, see, I thought it was in relation to social media.
Yeah.
And the fact that a lot of kids aren't, they aren't as social as kids were when I was growing up. Everything was outside. We were outside with our friends. So, our social skills were strong because they had to be, but there wasn't any other alternative. And now kids are doing more swiping, scrolling, watching, playing games, and not really having as much face to face. And from what I'm hearing from teachers, they're even challenged in terms of just knowing how to talk to their friends, to talk to their peers. So the 20 years ago, where'd your concept come from 20 years ago?
I actually spent about 2 weeks photographing children at my daughter's school. She was about 5 years old then. She's 31 years old now.
Okay.
And so it started with my writing text to go with the photographs, but obviously using Kayla's art was the right move. Yeah. But for all of you aspiring writers out there, or not even aspiring, practicing writers, don't ever throw anything away. Just wait until you find the right editor or the right time. So you're right. When COVID came around, Gwen, I thought, okay, this is perfect. We're wearing these masks. We have a new appreciation for the human face and what we miss by not seeing each other's faces. So that's when I pushed again to find a home for the book. And it's really about people looking in a very genuine way at each other and empathizing with each other and connecting, right? So what you're saying makes complete sense also, because I'm a teacher and I'll walk into the classroom sometimes and everyone's on their cell phone instead of interacting with each other.
Yeah. So what grade level do you teach?
Oh, I'm a college professor at the University of South. Yeah.
Oh, at the university level. Okay.
I'm at the University of South Carolina.
Because I was hoping that elementary school kids weren't in their phones. They shouldn't have phones in the class.
Right.
I know I'm in Texas, and I think we passed a law about that at the lower levels. I know several states have, because it's amazing what you think you can't do without when all the generations before you did without. They were fine. Yeah. So obviously you can do without it, and it's too much of a distraction. A teacher can't really get the students' attention if their face is in their phones. So, and how can they learn anything? And they should be concentrating on the subject at hand, what's being taught in the classroom. So have you ever taught at the elementary, middle school, or high school level, or is all your teaching been at the college level?
For me, it's all been at college level, but I do lots of visits to schools. That's my favorite thing to do. And Kayla, I don't know if you've done any yet, but probably people will be calling you to do school visits.
I've done a few like little workshops here and there, and I just got asked to do a few more at a bookstore. So that's funny that you bring that up. And they want me to teach the kids, do little simple art project stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I've worked with kids before, and they're always fun because kids are funny, they're so fun. So I'm looking forward to it. It's probably gonna be not the end of this year, next year, because school's just started. So yeah,
right.
So,
they're fun and they're honest.
Yeah, yes, they are honest, brutally sometimes, but
yes,
they will tell you what they think, and they will repeat what they've heard. And so parents need to be careful about what they say in front of their kids, because they will tell everybody what's going on. And if you don't want that necessarily known, then just be aware of that. So show us some of the pictures, Dinah, of the book. Show us
Well, you know what? I'll let Kayla do that since she's the artist.
Oh, okay. Well, there's some words too. So, but yeah, that's fine if Kayla's doing the art.
Like this is like these are like just some of the like pictures that I painted. So I wanted to like I want the whole book to have like a feeling of like, I thought like what's the first place that I like would meet somebody like when I was younger, and I felt like a park, because I'm
Okay.
like I was always outside riding my bike, different things like that, and I'm like, that would be like the first place. So I was like, that's where my friends that I like were outside, like, just like seeing different things like that, like new experiences.
Yeah, those beautiful illustrations. It's gorgeous work.
Yeah, so they're like,
And very lifelike.
thank you.
Hmm.
So like I know I want to have something with like outdoors, like I said, because like I know kids don't get outside like that anymore. So like,
Hmm.
to be like an experience of like, not only just seeing like meeting new people, but like new experiences outside. Like you might see like I think it was one page where like kids are looking at like a baby bird, different things like going outside, so, like playing outside, but flying kites, like different things playing with frisbee with their dog. So I kind of wanted to have like an experience thing where it's just like not only focused on connecting with each other, but like connecting like even with like nature. So I kind of wanted it to be a whole thing, like just like a worldly thing, not just so like, of course, social is of course always important, but also knowing like to unplug for a bit, go outside, enjoy nature, and actually, experiencing life. Mhm.
So how did you two connect? Was the publisher
Yeah,
connected you together? Is that what did you all
What,
know
what
each
a
other
lot of people,
beforehand?
but what a lot of people don't realize is that with most picture books, the editor acquires the manuscript first. That's a done deal. And then the editor and the art director hire the illustrator. So very often they don't even want the writer or the illustrator to talk to each other because they don't want somebody like me telling Kayla, this is what's in my head. You have to put what's in my head on the paper. They pride themselves on choosing an illustrator whose work will enhance and just match in a certain way, but bring something extra or something different, but something complementary to the words.
yeah,
They don't necessarily want a literal
yeah.
Hmm.
rendition of the words.
Right. Yeah.
And like,
It's interesting that you talked about that because when you self-publish, which I'm a self-published author and I have 16 books and 6 of them are children's books. So I found my own illustrator, by going online through, I think Fiverr was one, and then freelancer.com was another one that I used. And when you do that, you tell them what you want on each, with each a batch of words, as the story flows, you give them direction. But some artists don't take direction, but I found if you give them direction, it's less expensive than if you let them like use their imagination. It could take who knows how long. If I've been charging you by the hour, so so giving them some direction is more efficient and more economical. But when you are with one of the traditional publishers, you're right. They do. Now I didn't know that they didn't necessarily want you all to communicate with each other, but they do take over your project when you sign with them.
I wouldn't say take over. I think it's a little bit unfair. I mean, they talk with you about it. For instance, I'm sure that there were ideas that I communicated to my editor that she relayed to Kayla. For instance, having the children from all different cultures,
mhm.
of every skin color and different textures of hair,
Hmm. Okay.
right? So
Hmm.
I love my African American literature. I mean, that's what I study as a professor. That's what I write about as a scholar, the history of Black children's literature. But I love that this book will, in a certain way, invite a larger audience into it, because some people are really so close-minded that they look at a book and they say, oh, the cover has Black people on it. I guess that's only for Black children. That is so close-minded, and it deprives children of so many stories. And the children are open. It's mostly the adults who have hang-ups sometimes. But I think that's very special. And I think that Kayla did such a beautiful, beautiful job of portraying people, children from all walks of life.
She did. And that's something that people, Caucasian people, take for granted, that the white people on a cover of a book is the default.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's considered universal.
Yeah.
That's supposed to represent everything.
Right. That's
everyone. And it does. but yeah. That's what the standard is. Yeah. And that's, and you're right, their minds are closed because they're used to being the default. And so anything that differs from that can be challenging. That it takes work. It takes an open attitude. Not everyone has that.
Especially in this era when all these books are being censored, whether they are controversial or not. So talking about this and sharing with our children is more important than ever, because who knows what they have access to at school, right? So
now, do you teach African American children's literature? Is that what you teach?
I don't teach only African American children's literature.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of my students are English majors or they're studying to be school teachers. But yeah, I don't teach only African American children's literature. I teach children's literature as a serious area of study. And some people don't understand that. They still call them kitty lit, call it kitty lit. I hate that phrase. Kayla, have you heard that phrase?
I heard this phrase before.
Kitty lit.
It's really denigrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's this sort of like saying it's not serious,
Right.
And it is, because that's how all people learn to read as children. Right. That's how they either are exposed to it or they're not exposed to it. And
that's why I think it's the most important literature. I'm prejudiced, but
well, and you have a point.
And like it's like even when like you said, brought up like representation and everything, like I knew like even with the book, like even when kids like go past and they see it, like even kids don't like feel like they want to read something, they might like see like, oh, I see myself in this page, so then they want to pick up the book, they want to read it, and it gives them like a different perspective and like different, like I said, walks of life. So like they get to see like people they might see in everyday life, and then they kind of want to connect with everything. So I think they said it's kind of good to have like the beginning stage to be something that represents them. Yeah.
Well, that happens even into adulthood, as far as people not, if they see Black characters on the front of an adult book, they'll think it's not for them.
Yeah.
So that attitude carries on through life. That whole default thing is real.
And literature is for everybody. Different people might get different things out of a given piece of literature, but good literature, good art is for everybody.
Yes, and people need to learn about other cultures, other than just theirs, and even within their culture is stratified. It's not all, everybody's not the same. So we still are having a lot of work to do, even in 2026, with expanding people's minds about reading books. And so we just have to keep working on it. Now, Kayla, how long have you been an illustrator of books? And then what age did you start drawing? Like at what age were you like compelled? And I have a stepson that's an artist, and it shows up very early.
It was very
Yeah, so I was wondering, how old were you when you
I
knew
was
you?
like, I hate to say like when I always use the when I like learned how to walk and like pick up a pencil, that's when I started drawing. But that's literally once I
Yeah.
so I was really young. I have to be I don't even say like maybe 5 or 6. When I would ask my parents like, oh, can you give me some crayons? Can you like give me like paper? So they would have like stacks of like construction paper, and I would go through like crayons. They would buy me every year with those big. I don't know if you remember those giant kits with like
Yeah, I do. I
acrylic.
do.
Yeah,
When I was in my teens, I dated an artist,
yeah,
and I gave him one of those for Christmas,
yeah,
like all of the art things. This was
yeah.
years ago when I was in high school. So anyway, so I am familiar with it
Yeah,
because of that, and also my stepson's daughter is an artist, so I've given her some things. I gave her this case. I bought it on Etsy, I think, like
yeah,
an art case where you put your crayons and pens, and
yeah,
it was personalized. It had her name carved in it.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm familiar with the art,
Yes, I
but
like
it shows up. Children's talents show up early.
oh, very early. So I
What
was
they're compelled to,
enough.
what their genuine talent is.
Yeah,
Normally, before age 6.
yeah, yeah. Usually it is. Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to have like parents that really like supported it because there's some people who have parents who like that's it's no money in that, don't do it. So they were always for it. They supported me all the way through. I went to school for a bit. But I left because I started doing it full time. So I was like in college and I was like started doing like solo shows or doing like group shows around the city in Chicago. So once that happened, I kind of like left. I left college and like started doing art full time. And then after that, I've been an artist ever since. So it's almost been like about like almost have to be 10 years, so maybe like 9, almost like 10 years, and 9 to 10 years like of doing like art full time. Like so, I've quit my job and I've just been doing like so I've been doing mostly gallery work, and then I'll occasionally do like illustration. So I was actually supposed to be an illustrator, but then I started making most of like my funds and money from the gallery world. But I'll do like here and there, I'll go in and out and do an illustration here and there. I've done like a little few things for like advertisements, marketing, and like different like companies. And then this is actually I've been wanting to do a children's book for a year. That was actually what I went to school for. So I put it off forever, but I'm finally doing illustrating my first one with Dinah. So I'm finally here. So hopefully I'll do more in the future, but this is my first children's book. Yeah.
Well, you did a phenomenal job, so you shouldn't have any problem getting
Yeah,
some more
thank you.
credit at all, at all. So, Dinah, uh, have you done other books, other children's books, or other types of books, or is this
Yeah,
your
I've done
first
quite a
book?
few children's books.
Oh, you have?
So
Okay.
yeah, so one of the recent ones that's really beautiful, I don't have it sitting right here with me, is called H's for Harlem, and it's just an amazing Harlem alphabet. So
You
each
know,
entry is really long because how can you just match one letter with one thing? So it's really a beautiful tour through Harlem, and it's illustrated by the amazing April Harrison, who is also from South Carolina. And I'm really excited that I have a poem in this book. It's called This Is Not a Small Voice, Poems by Black Poets. And it's um, edited by Tracy Todd and illustrated by Jade Orlando. But one of the things that's a thrill for me, I have a poem on this page, and it's facing a poem by Gwendolyn Brooks.
Look,
So
oh,
so
wow.
you can imagine that that is the biggest thrill for me.
yeah.
Yes.
So folks, go out and find this. It's just a really beautiful collection of poetry. And then in January, what I have coming out is
Okay, that's
Black
the Black
Barbie,
Barbie.
the story of Kitty Black Perkins. So some of you may have seen the Netflix movie of the same name, Black Barbie. And I didn't want the book to be called that, but it's a marketing decision. So
Uh-huh.
Gwen,
Yeah.
as you said, there's some things that are out of your hands. So Barbie's on the front instead of this is Kitty who's on the back. So for those of you who aren't familiar with her, for close to 30 years, maybe 27, 28 years, Kitty Black Perkins was the head clothing designer for Mattel. So she was designing all those beautiful clothes that those dolls wear. And she was a Black woman from South Carolina.
Wow. So,
Yeah, and
see,
she's in
these are
her
people
late
in the
70s.
background. You
Pardon?
know, it's like we find out about people who are in the background that are doing all kinds of things that are so universal, but we don't know them until I'm glad that you're bringing her to light because that's important for people to know.
Won't take credit for bringing her to light, but I'll take credit for spearheading this project. And like, yeah, we need a children's book about her, so I'm happy about that.
Well, it's bringing to light people who didn't know about her, which includes me, and I'm well read. So, I can't read everything, but it's kind of like Hidden Figures. It's
Right.
like all these things happen, and then you find out there's a Black person behind them, and also a Black woman behind them. So,
Right.
that's an amazing thing. Now, your book, Ages for Harlem, interestingly, I'm familiar with that book because I bought it. I have we had a bookstore for 10 years. I have one customer from like 20 something years that buys books from us like every week.
Mhm.
She
Wow.
lives in Harlem. She's been doing it for over 20 years. She doesn't have any children of her own, but she donates books to libraries and schools, and she has, nieces and nephews. Well, anyway, your book, Ages for Harlem. She lives in Harlem. So she bought that book to give to some of her nieces and nephews. So I didn't realize it was you till you just said it. But your book is making the rounds. So, and it's a very nice book. She loved it. She raved about it. So, and she's been living in the same. Now, are you from Harlem?
Me?
Yes.
No, I live in South Carolina. I was born in South Carolina. Both of my parents were from South Carolina, but my dad was an army officer. So we lived all around the world. We lived in Iran in the days of the Shah. We lived in Germany twice, and we lived in 8 or 9 of the United States. But then I came back to South Carolina. I graduated from high school in South Carolina, and I've been
Okay.
teaching at the University of South Carolina for 36 years.
Oh, okay. Well, because you did a book, Ages for Harlem, I thought maybe you were from Harlem.
No, I love Harlem. So I've been going to Harlem for years before I did the book. Because I can imagine someone saying, "But she to write this book about Harlem."
Yeah.
But I love Harlem, and April and I both did extensive research.
Oh, okay. Because she's lived on the street called Edgecombe Avenue in Harlem for 60 years. She's lived in the same co-op for 60 years.
And Edgecombe Avenue is in the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the building she lives in is a building where like the famous people from the 50s and 60s and 70s or used to either live there or stay there or visit there and so sometimes she'll go back in the past. When she calls to order a book, I get a little history lesson about something that happened in Harlem.
Yes.
Because she's 80, I want to say 85 now. So, but she buys books. She calls actually literally almost every day.
Thank you to everybody who buys books.
And she believes in books. I mean, she's, and it's amazing just how much she invests in books when she doesn't have her own children. She's never been married, but she sends books overseas, different countries in Africa. She'll send them to schools in Africa. So she just really loves books. Well, we're at the last minute of our interview. And so how do we know the book is available wherever books are sold? But if people want to connect with you, Dinah, and you, Kayla, how do they do so online? Social media is where people are congregating. So how do they connect with you there?
They can find me at KaylaMay_art or KaylaMahaffey.com.
Okay. And what about you, Dinah?
DinahJohnsonBooks.com. I'm not a good social media person, I admit. But I did post today on Instagram about our book birthday.
Send mine through the newsletter. So people been showing me their books that they bought. So that's good. We're getting
Yeah, this is good. You can't immerse yourself in every single platform.
yeah.
You can't spread yourself too thin.
Yeah, Kayla's part of this generation, and I want to say that Kayla is really beautiful. I feel so great about our partnership. I'm in my 60s. You're much younger, so it's really nice for the generations to do something together.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you all, thank you for being guests on the show and continued success with your work.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Dinah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, for those of you all who tuned in late, Rhonda will not be on with us tonight, but we have an amazing lineup and we're bringing on our next guest. I do want to make people aware of my new book that's out, and I don't have my shipment of books yet. This is the proof, but how to plan a book event without losing your mind or going broke. And it's based on not only my 19 years of doing the National Black Book Festival, but I've literally been planning events my whole life. My first event was a Christmas party for my sixth grade class and teacher that I planned by passing out an envelope to all the students in the class and asking them to donate a quarter or whatever they had. And by the time the envelope circulated around the room, I had enough to get snacks and a gift for the teacher. So I've been doing events. That's some old trivia. So I've been doing events basically my whole life in some form or fashion. So we're going to bring on Vanessa Miller. She's no stranger to the show. But Vanessa has a brand new book that just came out a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago today. And she has two of her other books behind her, but her new book is called The Ladies' Hall. So do you have a copy of The Ladies' Hall handy so you can show us the cover?
I do. It's also behind me, but
oh, okay. But your head was
head. But
okay.
Here is The Ladies' Hall.
Yeah, really nice cover. And
yes, I love it. I love the yellow, the softness of it.
Yeah, you've been very busy doing historical fiction for the past several years. And I just realized all of the three books start with the word the.
That's my publisher's thing. I actually wanted The Ladies' Hall to just say Ladies' Hall, but I was vetoed on that. So for some reason they think it's better to start with the. I don't know.
And it may be. I just really noticed it just now because you have those two covers and then the new one. And the publishers, they have been doing this for this is what they do. So right. They have access to all kinds of data, statistics, focus groups, and all kinds of things to know what works the best. So, but you've been doing really well with it. I've been seeing you, your book signings and your travels already that you've been doing. So tell us about the Ladies' Hall and what it's about. I know it's historical fiction. It's based on real people. And so what is it about?
The Ladies' Hall is about Mary Church Terrell, Anna Julia Cooper, and Ida Gibbs Hunt. It is about their time at Oberlin College and how they fought for equality there. I like to say the doors of Oberlin were open, but the hearts were not, because Oberlin was a progressive college. They were one of the first colleges in the United States to accept both Black and white students. And they wanted them to go to school together in the same classrooms, to live in the dorms together, to eat together. And this all worked well when it first began. But as Mary, Anna, and Ida enter Oberlin, it is 50 years after the founding fathers first built this college, and they are no longer with us. And Oberlin begins to change. And so I tell you that story because I really believe people know Mary Church Terrell and Julia Cooper and Ida Gibbs as the powerhouse women they became, and how important they were for education for Black women. But this book is really about their becoming. This is how they learn to fight for what they believe is truly important.
Oh, okay. Now, what made you, and I know you, what I hear from other writers of historical fiction is they'll be working on one project and then some more information, another person comes to light and it kind of plants a seed there and then they proceed from there. So is that what happened with this book?
Well, I had Mary Church Terrell in my sights. I wanted to write about her during her later years. And so I had been studying, all the things that she did, how she spoke with at the Susan B. Anthony's organization. She was one of the only Black women to be able to do that. And she spoke about, this double-edged sword of not only being a woman, but also being Black. And so I was very impressed with that because that organization was, mostly focused on white women's suffrage, but she challenged them to also consider Black women in the movement. But a thing happened on the way to writing my proposal for the Mary Church Terrell book. I read this paragraph about Mary, Anna, and Ida attending Oberlin College and them graduating with a gentleman's degree. And I was like, what is the gentleman's degree? And I began to go down a rabbit hole with that. And so then my proposal changed and it became about, because these women were known for women's suffrage, but they began it while they were in college. So there was a ladies' degree and a gentleman's degree. When they enter college, they refuse the ladies' degree. And they, in order for a woman to be able to take the gentleman's degree, which is the 4-year college degree, you had to take a test to prove that you could handle that rigorous, schedule. And so they each took the test. And of course, they passed it and they were able to be enrolled in the gentleman's degree. So they were fighting, for women's rights long before they began the fight. They just didn't understand what they were doing there.
Now, what years are you covering in the book?
1880 to 1884. So they began at Oberlin in 1880. And so at the end of the book, I give you a few years of their later life because I was so interested in Mary Church Terrell's later life. So I had to add some things in there for later. So
Yeah, there's a couple of things that you mentioned that come to mind. One is that the suffrage movement didn't include Black women.
correct.
We had to fight for that.
We had to fight
And that's
for
what
that.
Sojourner Truth had, Am I a Woman? Because it's like we weren't included. And we
That's right.
really, our ancestors had to really fight to be included. And, that still pops up from time to time. The whole concept that Black women are included in women's issues. We still
Correct.
can get excluded sometimes. So,
correct. And we have to say, hold on, wait
yes,
one moment. We are here. And so I don't think, we have, shied away from saying, yes, we are a woman too. We are here too. We bleed just as well as anyone else. And so, but I believe we stand on the shoulders of women like Mary Church Terrell, Anna Julia Cooper, and Ida Gibbs Hunt. And a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with Ida Gibbs Hunt, but that's because she was still fighting for women's suffrage and civil rights, but she was doing it more internationally because when she gets married, her husband is a diplomat. And so she has to quit her job because at that time women could not work once they were married. And so she's traveling abroad with him, but she's still speaking out on women's issues. She's writing papers. She also worked with W.E.B. Du Bois with the Pan-African movement. And so a lot of people aren't as familiar with her, but that does not mean that she was doing any less work. It was just a lot of it was internationally. They did finally move back to Washington and stay here, but a lot of their time was spent international.
Okay. And the other thing that you mentioned that is happened later on, but still happens from time to time, was when you said that things had changed basically on paper, but not in people's hearts.
That's right.
And because even with Brown versus Board of Education, that was, I believe, 1955, if I'm not mistaken. But they didn't start integrating schools for many more years in the future because people were resisting it.
Oh yeah,
So,
they held it. They held it as long as they could.
as long as they could, until it just became untenable. They had to move on. And then even then, and in some cases even now, even once they integrated schools, what a lot of them did was they made the newer schools the high schools, and the older schools were for lower grades. So and while they were integrating, they were building schools in all white areas for their kids to go to once in a couple of years passed. So they will still get around. That still happens now. So
I mean, we deal with it in America, and we know it exists. But hey, that's why we our ancestors built these HBCUs because we needed a place where our children could be educated. And so now it's funny to me that, you get people going, well, why do they get HBCUs? And they never understand that it's because we had to have them because we weren't allowed in the other colleges. And now that our kids excel, and a lot of them only want to go to an HBCU. My granddaughter is at A&T, and she proudly, every application she put in was for an HBCU. She wanted to go to an HBCU, and she was accepted at, I believe, all of them. And so if she may have missed one, but she was accepted at mostly all of them. And so we decided this is where you're going to go, because I wanted her closer to home so we could just drive. It was my selfish reasons. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to let you go further for grad school, but right now you need to be where we can just come
put our hands on you when we need to.
Her mama just drives on down there quickly.
Yeah. My daughter went to one too.
Yes.
She went to North Carolina Central. So
well,
my sister, all of my siblings went to HBCUs. I'm the only one.
I grew up in Ohio, and even though we have Central and Central State and Wilberforce, I didn't think about it the way my granddaughter thought about it. And so I did not. And so I'm so proud of her. You know, once we moved down here in the South, I think it just really began to ring with her. And she was like, I'm going to an HBCU. And so I was like, okay, girl, yes, do it. And so, yeah, I'm happy that she is enjoying her education.
Yeah, my daughter graduated from college in, okay, I got to get the years right. Okay, 2018. Then she went to graduate school for 1 year master's for accounting. But she went to North Carolina State for her master's. But she goes to her homecoming every single year for Central. She still goes. And she pledged Zeta while she was there. But she knew she wanted to go to Central because my family's from North Carolina, both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, Mebane and Hillsborough.
So that's how come she knew she wanted, because you guys are in Texas. So that's why I was going all the way. But that's why she knew she wanted to go, because all of you guys are from North Carolina. So she would have been knowing about it. Yes.
Right. She used to go visit. My sister went to Bennett and my brother-in-law went to A&T. So she would go visit every summer. And one summer when she was 14, she asked my brother-in-law, her uncle, if he would take her to visit Central. And because she was one of those kids at 12, she was on the computer looking at college.
Yes.
That was just who she was. So they went to visit, and the day they went to visit, the dean happened to be on campus, and the dean took them all around and showed them and took. So she was sold. So at 14, she was sold. And so my husband didn't want her to leave Texas. And so
that's kind of far.
Yeah, that's far. But my family was there, so at least family. And so, that's the reason. I knew she would not be happy anywhere else. Her heart was set on it, and she was a good student. And so the reason that she ended up going to college debt-free was because I spent so much time working on getting her scholarship money, because that's the only way that her
about it.
Yes, my best-selling book, my most successful book, is about going to college debt-free with scholarships. But it was because my husband didn't want her to leave Texas, and the only way I could really sell it was it was all paid for.
That's right.
Ended up being my best-selling book, and the one I got the Image Award nomination for.
Well, because that's an important book. It truly is, to help people understand how to go out and get these scholarships and everything. That's really important, because that's a big help with trying to get these kids into school.
Yeah, and debt is no joke. That college debt, it follows you forever.
That's right.
At the time she was like in 9th grade, everybody I knew in their 40s was still paying college loans. And I said, okay, I don't want that for her.
That's right.
We're doing that at 40s and 50s, still paying for school. So that's really my motivation. That and my husband, the only way I could sell it, because he was not for her to go out of state.
Correct.
So that's his baby. He has.
I know. He probably had a hard time with it.
He cried the whole time she was gone.
She just down the road, and we still be like, what?
But it goes by very
she
fast.
Is not thinking about us.
No, she was not thinking about us. But I didn't think about my parents when I was in college, so I get it. I get it. So Myra Cook said she enjoyed reading The Ladies' Hall. So you can.
Oh, thank you, Myra.
Yeah, and Curtis Stevenson said he enjoyed reading The American Queen last year, and look forward to reading The Filling Station, which I read. I read them both. The Filling Station is an outstanding book. I loved it.
Thank you.
You love some books more than others.
Oh, absolutely.
Overall, and historical fiction is my favorite genre, and I've recently just read some outstanding books. It's rare that you read 5-star books like back to back. You normally don't get that lucky, but recently I read 3 books that are just really, really good. So I look forward to reading.
But where are they? Do you want to say the name?
Okay. I okay, Blood Slaves was the first one by
Okay.
Marcus Redmond. It's about vampires, but it's
Okay.
historical. And the vampires, the one, there's always like a lead vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been living for like 400 years, and he ends up near a plantation. And so the goal is to turn enough of the slaves into vampires to where they could take over the plantation.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, it's an outstanding book. The
It
next
was
one is
okay.
it was outstanding. These are all 5 stars. One
Mm-hmm.
Inharmonious.
I
It's
haven't heard of that
by
one.
an author named Tammy Hutt. Her first and last name are spelled differently, but it's Inharmonious.
Uh-huh.
And she's based in Canada or somewhere. She's not American. The
Okay.
black author. It's set in like World War II era.
Okay.
Outstanding, outstanding, outstanding.
Inharmonious. Okay.
Inharmonious. And it says a one-word title. And then Red Clay.
Do I have that book? I haven't
That's
read it, but
by Charles Fancher.
and that one was real good too.
Oh, so I read them back to back. And so I'm like, oh my God, it's like a reader's dream when you can read three
Absolutely.
5-star books, one right after the other. And he won the Image Award for debut novel this year. Well, in like January, February, whenever they gave
Okay.
it. But he is a longtime editor, newspaper editor. And that was his career. And this was his first book, but it was loosely based on his family history. So it was
Okay.
it was based in slavery time. Uh,
Okay.
outstanding, just outstanding. So I love reading historical fiction. It keeps me grounded, um, because we should never forget that our ancestors were living a nightmare
That's right.
every day of their lives, and they fought so we wouldn't have to do that.
That's right.
So we owe them our best efforts at whatever we're doing, because they didn't get an opportunity to do the things that we're doing today. They didn't have those. They couldn't even dream about it.
No, but they fought so that we would
Yeah.
have these opportunities. And
Yes.
that's what I believe. That's why we owe them honor. We
Yeah.
owe them, uh, where I don't like when I hear people go, well, what they need to understand is we are not our ancestors. Hold on. It is because of our ancestors that we even stand here today and have what we have, because they fought for us. And people get this idea that, oh, we ancestors just took whatever. No,
No.
each
No.
generation was fighting so that you
Yes.
could stand here today and open your mouth and disrespect them like that.
Mhm. Well, you're
And
right, unfortunately, but yes, I don't like. And here's the other thing: no, they're not our ancestors, because they couldn't have done what they did, deal with
no,
all the stuff they were dealing with, but still planned, made progress, saved money, bought
that's
homes.
right.
They
That's
a
right.
lot of
They
times they were
they were
working two
they were
jobs.
planning
Yes,
and
yes,
strategizing,
yes,
and it is because of those plans and strategies that I
yes,
mean that we even have the things we have today. Black Americans buying power is one of the top, you know, in not just in this country, but even around the world.
yes.
And that is because of the fight our ancestors fought for us. And so we owe them gratitude. And so I
We
am
do.
always I always say I write my historicals to honor those who came before us, because I believe they deserve to be honored. They deserve for us to remember who they were and what they did for us so that we could stand in these spaces. And so that's why I write what I do.
Well, I appreciate you and others. I don't. write historical fiction like that. But I do put history in the books that I write a lot of times. And my very first book was about group economics. So I understand the power and the importance of pooling resources. And we still haven't learned that. And I wrote that book 18 years ago. Yeah. 18 years ago that book came out. It's still as relevant. Nothing has moved or changed. In fact, we've taken some steps back um, in terms of just understanding the
Yeah, in the book,
importance
and
of pooling.
yeah, in the book, The American Queen that I wrote, they pooled together. And
Yes,
that's how come they were able to build this community. They understood that. But people consider that more socialistic. And we live in a capitalistic society. So people today, they don't necessarily want to do that. But it was how they were able to build a whole community and build homes for people who didn't have anything right after emancipation. And if they hadn't pulled together, there were a lot of people who were just kind of going aimlessly because they were basically thrown out of plantations and things like that. And so they were adrift. It was the pooling together that really created this community that they had.
Yeah, yeah. People, this younger generation they have the wrong idea about our ancestors. They, they don't. We had a guest on a couple of weeks ago who wrote a book about his community and how uh, the church, they built a church in like 150 years ago, and it still stands today. And they did it by pooling their resources, and it became like a community meeting place. And so my mother's family did the same thing in North Carolina. It was a small community. The church about 15 years ago celebrated their 100th anniversary. So it was called Warren's Chapel. And my grandmother, my mother's mother,
Mm-hmm.
was part of the group that founded the church. And they built these
Okay.
buildings, they pulled their nickels and dimes and built these buildings with their own hands. And they're still standing, and they're still the communities still have a place to meet, and where the community can come together and still worship together and meet
Yeah.
together. And so, the things that they were able to do, they could squeeze so much out of a dollar. They really were really amazing in terms of being able to budget.
Yeah.
We could learn a lot from them. They didn't live high, you know.
Correct.
They weren't into designers. In fact, a lot of them made their own clothes. Even
Yeah.
though my mother didn't, she wasn't a seamstress like that, but she always put our clothes in layaway for school, like for school, she put them in layaway and paid
That was
on it.
my
She didn't have
mother.
any debt,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. Don't, if you say I'm not my ancestors, what you really are saying is you are less than your ancestors because you don't get it, and shame on you. And reading historical fiction, that's why I love it. It keeps me grounded because
Absolutely.
it reminds me of just what we have been
Reminds
through,
you of what was done
all
for
the
you.
generations of people
Mm-hmm.
that sacrificed so we could be here. Even
Absolutely.
even them deciding to live was a sacrifice because
Yes.
they were living a nightmare.
Say that. Say that.
You know,
There's too many of them could have just given up, but
yes,
they did not. They chose to fight. They chose to be here for the next generation. They chose to keep on showing up. I
yes,
am proud of who I come from. I'm proud of I have up on my bookshelf here are my my grandmother, my great grandmother, my aunt. Those are my ancestors. I'm proud of them. They are no longer here with me, but I keep their pictures as a reminder because they they never were able to live even the kind of life that I live now. You know, my grandparents, you know, were maids, or they worked in restaurants, things like that, as maids, cooks. But they each day they kept going out, they kept working, they kept building. My grandmother bought me my first car, and she didn't make much money, but she went and put $500 down on a car for me. And I will never forget that. You know, we stand on the shoulders of the people who came before us. They built things so that we could then say, okay, I want to go to college. Okay, I want to go do this. I want to become a writer, you
Yeah.
know,
So we could have
and
choices.
so
You know,
we could
have choices. We stand on their shoulders. Well, it's
absolutely.
at the end of the interview, so
Yes.
it went by so fast. But show a copy of the Ladies Hall one more time. I plan to get my copy. I haven't gotten it yet, but I plan to get my copy so I can read it. My to be read shelves are bursting, overflowing. But
Oh,
historical
I
fiction always
know.
goes to the top of the list. Even it always ends up at the top. So I look forward to reading it.
Thank you so much. And you guys, go grab the Ladies Hall. I hope you will enjoy it. This story is really about Black excellence and becoming and understanding your equality.
Okay, well, I couldn't have said it better myself. So I hope to see you soon somewhere else, Vanessa. I see you all the time
Yeah,
and
I'm
on
I'm
social
out
media.
I'm out in these streets. I'm resting this week. My next event is on Saturday, and then I head to several more places. But at least I get this week of rest.
Okay. All right. Take care. Have a great
Bye
night.
bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Our next guest is she's not a stranger to the show. I think she's been on once before, if I'm not mistaken. She's in the romance genre, Siera London, and she has a new book, and we're going to be giving away, um, I don't know, we're going to be giving away a copy of her book. It's the ARC. So her new book, A Hard Habit to Break, we have the ARC for the book. So, Sierra, you look confused. Are you trying to figure out which device you're going to be on? Okay, she's coming on. So while she's figuring out her camera and her sound, we're going to give away. We all okay. You need to turn off the other device because we're getting the feedback. Turn the volume all the way down. But we always give away books based on trivia. Turn it all the way down. Turn the sound all the way down. And so the trivia question for this book, before we get started with the interview, the trivia question for this book is the main character at age 18, her name is Rachel Johnson. She left her home state with a college acceptance letter in hand. And so which state did she live in? So whoever answers the question first correctly gets the ARC mailed to them. And if it's one of our regular viewers, they normally answer really fast, and then I see who wins. So Siera, welcome back to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now this is book number what for you?
Okay, this is book, I don't know, I might be in the 40s, but this is definitely book 2 in the Calvary Brothers series.
Oh, okay. So the main character is one of the brothers, and so this is an additional brother. So how many brothers are there altogether? 4. Normally when people do these books, it's either 3 or 4 brothers.
It's
4.
3
Okay.
Calvary brothers.
3.
The first
Okay.
book, Fake It Till You Make It, was Eli's story. He's the oldest. And
Okay.
this book, the second book, is actually Noah's, and Noah is the baby boy.
Okay. All right. So is this interracial romance?
So both the characters are biracial. So
Oh, okay.
yes,
Okay.
both the characters are biracial. So Noah's mom is Black, Leah Calvary, and
Okay.
Rachel's mom was also a Black woman.
Okay. Because I didn't know for sure if, there's some authors that focus on interracial romance, like for all of their books are that. So I didn't know if that was the case with this, but yours are just a variety. And is this
Yes.
the second chance romance?
Oh, yes. It is
Okay.
the sweetest second chance romance. I actually love Rachel and Noah.
Okay. It's good to love your characters, even though they're not real people, but they become real. If you're a writer, they become real to you. And
Yeah.
so it's I think that helps the writing if you really engage with the characters.
It does. I mean, I feel like every book you're pouring a piece of yourself into it, at least your perspective on the character's outlook in life. So for me, I don't want to write about characters that I don't connect with, right? I mean, I don't want to be a villain in every book, but even with a villain, like there's something in their journey that you can relate to, even if it's not fully your story.
Okay. Yeah, I do some of that myself. Like when Rhonda's joining us
Yay.
after her speaking engagement.
So good to see you.
So,
You look lovely tonight. You look
so
wonderful.
Rhonda has a tendency to double book herself.
No, not all the time. I thought my speaking engagement was at 7 and it wound up being at 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I've spent several out of town trips with you, and I beg to differ.
She's right. She is not lying.
No, I believe you, Gwen, because I had Rhonda on my schedule for yesterday. And then I'm like, uh-oh, I seen Elena and some other folks. Okay, all right, okay. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
that's right.
I'm glad you were able to tune in. So, Siera, how did you get started with romance? Like, what made you decide romance was your lane to be in?
Okay. I might be weird because I didn't always know romance was my lane. I really didn't. I knew books were my lane. I knew fiction was my lane.
Okay.
Romance, I came to later in life. I came to later in life. Like my mom read, like, remember those comic love story books? Do you remember
I used
those?
to read them.
Yeah, back in the 70s. Like my mom had those and I would read them, but then something tapered off through the years. But somewhere around in my late 20s, and I'm in my mid 50s now, but somewhere in my late 20s, I had a health setback. And some of you all already know this, but I was a nurse practitioner in the military in my former life. And y'all know when you put on that uniform, like you have to be one way, and that one way is on top of your game, right? And so I can't go to work, downtrodden, in pain, not looking like a squared away sailor. And I remembered that romance always made me feel better. And so for me, romance was like a balm. It really was a painkiller. I couldn't take painkillers for pain. And I literally would have a mass market size paperback in my lab coat. And if the pain got overwhelming, y'all, I would flip it over and start just reading the scene. And you know how quickly romance can just suck you in?
Mm-hmm.
It would suck me in. It would give me something else to focus on besides what was happening in my body. And that's when I knew that romance, if it could heal me like that, just that quickly, I wanted to be a part of that. That's why
Oh,
I started writing
that's an
romance.
interesting story. I've never heard anybody put their journey to romance like that.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
It
Like I
was.
said, I might be a little bit,
No,
off the
no,
beaten
no,
path.
Everybody has their
no.
own story for how they got where they are, because no two people's paths are the same.
This is so true.
Period in
This is,
life. You know,
yeah.
Because
so
you're reaching somebody the way some way one of those romance authors reached you.
Yes.
And you're probably making somebody else feel better. And I think
mhm,
that is, I think really that should be our goal as authors. I know a lot of times we say, I just want to make money and and there's nothing wrong with making money. I'm not shaming
Absolutely.
anybody for wanting
mm,
to make money. But when you're making money and you're touching your readers to where your readers feel like they have to read your book in order to get through, I mean, that's something that you can hang your hat on. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And I'll say this, like you brought up the point of making money, but I think for anybody who's been around, even a couple of years in writing, and this is my 11th year of writing, when you are a creative, there's a certain amount of fulfillment that comes in just doing what you love.
Yes.
Like, y'all,
mm,
before I make a penny on my books, like, I'm happy with the story. Like, I feel good about the story that I got out of my head and onto the page. And then, like, the next step, and I know a lot of people don't see it this way, but the next step is actually sharing the story. But the first story belongs to me. And that's a reward in and of itself. I mean, of course, you want your businesses to be profitable, but at the same time, the satisfaction in what I'm doing comes long before I make a dollar on the book.
Mhm.
well, and that's well said. Because people ask me, um, how do you, or am I, are people buying my books, or am I really selling my books? I tell people I don't write books for a living. That's not, my books are more me getting my thoughts and ideas and passions, whatever the topic is, out on paper for the public, so I can share them with people. And even if I only sell a few books, and I do sell books every month. I get royalties every month on the 29th from Amazon.
Yes.
But and I haven't missed getting royalties ever, like in any month. So
Yes.
but that's like a bonus. People, when people tell me they really enjoyed it, it blessed them, they share it, then that's what makes me feel good.
Yes.
Um, but people who do it for a living, my hats are off to them, because I don't have, my ideas don't, for book writing, don't come right off the top of my head fast enough for me to do it to make a living.
Yeah.
I might write one book and then go 2 years without writing another one, or 3 years, and then one year I might do two books. So it just depends. But
Yeah.
but having you talk about how it was really almost a healing balm,
Still
that's
is.
um,
Mm,
that's
good. So
precious.
your why hasn't changed.
No, no, my why hasn't changed. But so to Gwen's point, so I am a full-time author. But with saying that, even when you're working your job full-time, especially if you're an hourly employee, like, you show up every day, but you only get paid twice a week, once a week, sometimes once a month, depending on what the job is. And in some ways, writing is like that. Like, you're putting in work every day,
Yes.
Okay.
but the pay, some days, like you said, when we get paid every day, I mean, it doesn't flow into our bank account necessarily every day like that, but we get
Mhm.
paid every day. You're selling a book, you're selling books. But um just like with your job, there's more to it than just the money that comes um from somebody buying your book. Like you
Mhm.
said, it's so much about getting the story that you want to share with the world out of your head and out into the world.
Yes.
I get satisfaction from just like the conversations like this. Like when I was a nurse, I wasn't on Black Authors Matter TV talking about books. Like someone actually like holding up a book that I wrote with my name on it, going, "Hey, this is a giveaway." And you know what's wonderful about that is that there are readers out there that see that as valuable. Like something that I created is valuable to someone other than me, and it's not just dollars, right?
Well, having said that, Curtis Stevenson won the book, and he normally when he comes on, when he tunes in, he wins the book if we give one away. So
That's
the
true.
answer
He's gonna
was
win a book.
59. He will win a book. So West Virginia is the state where the main character left
Yes.
for college. So now Tony Bonita said one word, cat. What does that mean?
What, the cat? Is that what Miss Tony said? Like we
That's what
just saw
Tony
each other
said.
on Friday because she came to one of my in-person events. But on this cover, which I love, y'all see this cute
Mhm.
little cat. Look, let me get my finger right. Y'all see this cute little cat?
Oh, okay. Is it
Okay,
the ark?
so it's modeled after
Okay,
my own cat who's
the
around here
cat,
somewhere in the
the cat's
house.
on the ark too. So if anybody's a cat lover,
Yes,
like we
so
have a cat, our
yeah.
cat's a tabby, so it's not
I'm
this color.
sorry. I'm not a pet owner. I guess my pet, I'm babysitting my pet, my daughter's pet. She has fish and a turtle. So
Okay, I've been there too.
yeah.
I started there. I started there. You know what I'm saying? It's a graduation to get to the cat or the dog or the bird. But Clam is a character in the book, and she's not just along for the ride. She has some matchmaking duties that
Oh.
she carries out between her soon to be mommy and daddy. So Miss Tony is not a cat person. But Clam shows up all throughout the book. And of course, she is a cat, meaning she's very independent. So one of the first things she does when Rachel does get back home to Service, West Virginia, is disappear and go somewhere she ain't got no business going and suck her mama into it, because that's what cats do. Like,
They can't. Our cat is an indoor cat. Actually, our cat is really my daughter's cat, and
uh-huh.
and this is what happened. It was her cat. She got married, and she has a special needs cat. She had to get all
You've
his
told
teeth
this story
pulled.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had to get all his teeth pulled
Oh,
because except for the four front, though, the two in the front and the top and the bottom, he has four teeth. So, uh, he had like gum disease. I didn't even know cats had that. But
yeah,
anyway, so he has to be fed a certain way. He can only eat soft food. You got to feed him like a
yes.
half a teaspoon first and then wait 30 minutes. Well, she and her husband, new husband, they travel all the time. So
Oh,
they don't have a lifestyle where they can take care of her special
no,
needs cat. So
no,
now
not
it's
at
my
all.
cat. So anyway,
Thanks, Mom. I know that's what she's saying.
that's what she said. She comes over and hugs him and rubs him and then goes back home. So, but I had the cat do. Now, Tony Bonita said, Curtis, she said she let you win because she already has a copy of the book. Tony Bonita
Ooh.
Right, she knew. She knew. She got an advance copy too.
So Curtis will take it. So,
Thank you, Curtis.
yeah.
I hope
So
you enjoyed the read and review it. I appreciate it.
now, do you do series mostly, or say? I know a lot of especially romance authors are doing series because people want that.
I love series, but I do standalones as well. And I tend to write my books as standalones. So if you were to pick up A Hard Habit to Break today, even though Fake It Till You Make It is the first book, you would have more than enough details about the people, the town, understanding the conflict between the characters without going back to book one, even though there's mention of Rachel in book one. And of course, Noah's on the page because he's one of the Calvary brothers. And the series is really about the Calvarys and the Calvary family. So yes, I enjoy series quite a bit, but I just finished a standalone called the Slow Jam Playlist that's coming out for the House of Bohanna next month.
I
So
like the title.
yeah, well,
Mhm.
thank you. Yeah, so
Yeah.
so
Now, is
yeah,
that Shay's?
I do both.
Is
Huh?
that Shay Bohanna?
Yes,
I didn't know she was publishing
yes,
books. I
yes,
thought she
yes,
just did like publicist work. I didn't know
yes.
she
Yeah.
did
So
publishing too. So she
yeah, so
does
this
it
is a
all.
launch. I don't even know if I was supposed to say that. Shut up, Siera. But anyway,
The cat's out of the bag now.
oh, y'all, we
She
got a book
breaking
coming next
news.
month. So look for a new book from the House of Bohannon. And mine is called, my story in the anthology is called The Slow Jam Playlist.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's a story in an anthology.
Yeah.
And
So it's like the book with its own soundtrack, huh?
Oh my gosh. If so, the characters are 55 plus. So this is a book for the grown and sexy. So if you can
I'll be reading
remember
it.
growing up with mixtapes and slow jams, if you like smooth grooves, that nice groovy tempo, yeah, this is a story that you are gonna love. I had so much fun writing this book because it really took me, look, back down memory lane. So that's a little Ripperton for you. So
well,
I love
well,
it.
old school is that's my music, and
me
that's what
too.
I listen to. That's the real music. I
Yeah.
even played a little bit while we were out of town in Atlanta with Rhonda doing some trivia on some
Mm.
songs to see if she knew who the artists were, and because it would really was testing for the game that we do at the festival during the
That
Yes.
guy across from us, he got all
he,
of them, didn't he?
he knew just about every single one. He did.
But he was playing
But
old
he
school
was
music
playing
the
old
whole
school
time.
the
Okay.
whole time. The whole
Okay. So
time.
he committed.
'Cause
Yeah.
He
yeah,
living the dream.
because I do play it in my car, but I don't take it like places. Because you never know how people are gonna respond. Some
Oh,
people
okay.
might not want to hear it or whatever. So I don't want to deal with that. So but people will be a lot less likely to tell a man to turn his music off
Oh, yeah.
than a
Well,
woman.
yeah.
So,
I don't know.
and I
Maybe
think
I'm
his
at that
wife
age
was
where
with
people
him.
just like leave that lady alone. I don't know.
Yeah. His wife was with him, but she didn't know the songs. She didn't know 'em. He knew them. So that was his thing more or
I
less.
like trivia night, and I think the one time that I won with my team, it was on one of the categories was Motown.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could win that,
Yes.
or something like that. I look at Beat
I might be able
Shazam
to
when
do
it
pretty
comes on.
well on that one. I don't know if I'll
Mo-
win, but I'll do pretty well.
Motown.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In fact, I was just watching Beat Shazam. It came on last night, but I recorded and then
Hmm.
I watch it later. And Jamie Foxx, he does a good job. A lot of
He
the music
does.
I don't know because it's alternative. It's all different. It's all different kinds
Yes.
of music, and some of them I know, but I don't know like if it's like now stuff for the now. I don't even know what's popular right now. So
Yeah.
anyway, but on your other book that came before this one is
Mhm.
called Fake It Till You Make It. Is that what the title of that one?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now that book, it seems like a little less pages than this one.
So yes, so since the first book came out, y'all, so this first book, this is mass market size and it came out from Forever Romance. And since then, I've moved on to Grand Central, but they're all under the Hachette book group. And
Okay.
so we went from mass market, which, that market kind of went away, y'all. And we stepped up to trade paperback. And A Hard Habit to Break, which I'm so proud of, is in audio and it's absolutely fabulous. The narrators, Chris Brinkley and Arissa Evans, I mean, they bring the emotion to the page. It's in large print for people like me who are vision impaired, plus your regular size paperback. So they just did it all. And I am so happy. So, readers, you can get what you want. Listeners, you can get what you want. And the book is everywhere, it is everywhere. So I love that. I'm very proud of
Okay.
that.
Now you mentioned the mass market is I really hadn't noticed but is it pretty much uh extinct now? Almost.
Yes, like
Yeah, I
even if
haven't
you
seen it in a long time either.
Maybe because, a lot of readers are 40 plus, and that's when you need reading glasses.
that's a part of it, but well, I
The,
won't say that. But
the
the
market,
market has changed, right?
Mhm.
Like when you look at paperbacks from when we started just 10 years ago, you didn't see romances in hardback. And now that is evolving, right? That romances aren't just in paperback. The ones that sell in large volumes are also coming in hardback. And you see the evolution of special editions. And I think
yeah. Mhm.
audiences like what's emerging or has emerged on Book Talk, on TikTok, have really they drive this they're on the forefront of this transformation because Book Talk, TikTok really blew up during the pandemic, right? And
Mhm.
so a lot of these like younger readers were coming of age, and so they didn't have e-readers. They were reading mid-grade books, and they were reading books, right? These big books. They were reading your Twilight series, your Harry Potters, your whatever, like
Yeah.
reading
Mhm.
books.
Mhm.
And so they brought that same energy into adulthood, and you're seeing the romance market respond to that, right? With larger books, with these more what do you call it? Mm, the covers that are discrete covers, right? They don't have the bare chest on them, even though they're romance. Now flowers signal romance, for these discrete covers. And so, the market has changed a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people are on Book Talk is really um some of the influencers on Book Talk really have
Mhm.
a lot of followers to
Mhm.
where they're really driving sales. And a lot of them are, getting, I don't know what kind of arrangements or contracts, but they are having relationships with the publishers in terms of financially, you know, because
Yeah, well, Penguin has a whole influencer outreach system, for lack of a better term. You can actually sign up to be an influencer with them, and if you get chosen, they'll send you free books. And I believe that's why a lot of the more popular authors are getting promoted by influencers, because these publishing companies are pushing certain authors, and they're sending it to influencers who have pretty large followings. So you find influencers are promoting authors who already have thousands of book sales already. And so it gets a little harder for the smaller authors or the lesser known authors to get that same publicity.
Well, I think that's why, like, you bring up an interesting point, and I think that's why it's so important, like, as authors, that we always talk about branding, right? We talk
Mm-hmm.
about branding. We talk about this being our own career. Gwen mentioned, I can put out a book in every 2 years. I can put out 2 books every year. I can do what I want, and I feel like we have to be our own best influencers. Like, we
Yes.
can't outsource that, because I still feel like as business owners, we can't give entities outside of us more power than we have with our own audience, right?
Exactly.
Like, I cannot, well, I feel like there we should be careful, very careful with giving influencers control over our audiences, because dynamics can change, relationships can change,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't want anyone to have the power to sabotage romance, the community, an individual author,
Right.
because they've built such a powerful platform. And when you talk about influencers monetizing, like when this all started, influencers were super fans who actually read each book from
Yes.
cover to cover.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
can't lose that. Like, that's a true influencer.
Mm-hmm.
That's, we want, I want that authentic connection, right? I
Mm-hmm.
want Like somebody just won my book. That's why I said, please read the book. Like, I'm not saying you know anything about book hoarders, do you think? But for me, I'm saying, like, I'm asking, like, let's have a connection, read the book. Let's talk about it. Like we're here, like we're doing right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are really good points. And I've always felt like that just in general, as far as a business, as a longtime entrepreneur, giving someone else control over my the end results of what I'm doing,
Yeah.
or access to just even with this show, I prefer to go directly to the authors. If I can do that, that's the thing that I do. If I can find their email address directly, and I ask Gemini and Claude and all of them, what's the email? Because I hate going through gatekeepers. Because the gatekeeper may not think it's important. Or they might have another agenda. They might have some other places they're trying to place you. But if I can talk to the person directly, 99% of the time, the answer is a yes. So it's just a matter of finding the right dates. That's all. So
Right. Yeah. It's about connection. And Rhonda, you made a really good point. Like when you talk about authors who are up and coming, or authors who might be mid-listers or debut,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want, at least I wouldn't want to feel like, you know what? I can't get anywhere in this business because I don't know enough influencers, or I don't
Right.
know this person or that person. Like it, we don't want barriers like that in
Exactly.
the romance community, right? Like we
right.
talk about, there are people leaving the industry every day.
Yep.
Every day, people are leaving the industry. I'm not writing anymore. I'm taking a break from writing.
Yeah,
And
they're
so we
discouraged.
want that fresh infusion of talent, of stories, of creativity, of varying perspectives entering our community.
Well,
We
and
do.
somebody posted, I think it was Black Girls Write, Black
Mhm.
Girls Who Write. They posted this, well, I saw it today. I don't know if they posted it today, but it was what, as an author, what are some things that you're tired of hearing? Oh my goodness, it's 9:30. We're going into the
Yeah,
next
we did.
person.
I know. I was just gonna say that. So we'll have to table that
Yes, we're
question.
gonna table that. We'll
And
talk about it in Chicago, Sierra.
congratulations again on your book.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
I hope it
Have
does
this
extremely
opportunity.
well.
All right. Have a
All
good
right,
night, ladies.
you
Bye.
too. Bye bye. Yeah, I was just gonna say that we are
No,
almost
I
out.
just happened to look up like, oh shoot.
It's past, we're past the time. So we're bringing on our final guest. While we do that, I do want to remind people my new book is out now, How to Plan a Book Event Without Losing Your
Yay.
Mind or Going Broke. So I don't have my personal copies yet, but they're coming. They're en route to me, and but it's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. I'm hoping to
I'm
do a
glad you went with
hardcover
that
soon.
cover. That cover looks good.
Yes, yeah, she did a good job. I gave her an example, and then that's when it turned around. So anyway, um, working with illustrators and people who do cover work.
Minta came into
That
the
kind of
room
work.
twice now.
Sometimes they change devices, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm thinking that might be what she's doing now.
Mhm. So our final guest, if you all watched the show, or you may have seen the finalists announced for the Black Authors Matter Children's Book Awards for this year, and Minta Speller was one of the finalists. And she is joining us tonight to talk about her book, The Last Dinosaur. So as soon as she comes on screen, she's doing audio on the backup device, I think, the one that she really wants to be on. She's connecting to audio. So let's see what is and one final note about the National Black Book Festival. Our vendor tables are sold out. They have been sold out for over a month. And but you're welcome to attend. A lot of authors attend first, and so they can see how it's set up and everything. And then the next year they sign up as vendors. But we open our registration January 1st, and that's why we generally sell out by August. But this year we sold out earlier than we did before. So we're looking forward to a very exciting year. And next year is our 20th anniversary. So we're going to be doing some really special things for next year leading up to the actual event. So we're still waiting on Minta to come on screen. And as soon as she does, Rhonda, do you have any um, updates on anything? If you've been somewhere lately, didn't I see you somewhere? Didn't I see you?
I'm everywhere.
You're all everywhere. The last pictures I saw, was it in New Orleans?
Well, yes, I did go to New Orleans. And that was actually for my day job, believe it or not.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but I was in Delaware this past weekend in Wilmington, Delaware. I was with the Creators Tour. So some people may know that I'm the author advocate for the Creators' Rights Movement, and we have been advocating for updated copyright laws and just encouraging creators of all types, not just authors, but creators of all types, to make sure that they are protecting their work. And so we were in Delaware this past weekend. Tomorrow I will be teaming up with Max Rodriguez, and we're going to be talking. We're doing a pre workshop, talking about AI, the importance of promoting your work and protecting your work. And then, of course, on Saturday I'll be at the Harlem Book Fair.
Oh, okay. Well, tell Max I said hello.
I sure will.
And he's a great guy and been very committed. Very committed. He's
Yes,
been doing this in this space a long time.
22
So,
years.
yeah, Minta, can you bring your camera just so the top of, yeah, so we can see your head. So it's not chopping you off at the top. Okay. Well, Minta Speller, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Hi there. So sorry, had a little bit of technical
It
difficulties.
happens. It
It
happens.
happens
But
when
you're
it's,
here, so
yeah,
that's
you're
great.
here. And when it's live, anything can happen. That's what happens on a live stream show. Do you have a copy of your book, The Last Dinosaur, handy so you can show it to us, to the audience? Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the artwork was very good on
Yes,
that
it's
one.
beautiful.
Thank you.
And now, is this your first book?
It is not. I
Okay.
have I have almost 20 children's books.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
Oh, well, good.
yeah.
That's great.
This is actually The Last Dinosaur. This is actually 3 books in one. Um, it's a series. It's a series about a little boy named Ryan who finds an egg in Central Park, and he takes it home to take care of it because he couldn't find the nest. And when it finally hatches, it's a dinosaur. And so the journey begins. Book 2 is about Ryan trying to figure out Dino's identity. And then book 3 is the journey home, trying to find him up this.
Okay. Well, when we were judging the books, your book really stood out among the rest. When it's a competitive process, it's about what catches the judge's eye.
Mhm.
And we have 6 judges on our panel, and your book really stood out. Just the colors and the idea about the egg, finding the egg. It just really was a creative story. Now, what gave you the idea for the story?
So a few years ago, my grandson came for Thanksgiving. He has huge imagination, and he brought his friend Godzilla, the friendly dinosaur, to meet me. And it just reminded me so much of my imagination when I was a child. And it kind of, the story of really came sprung from the adventures that I would have with my brother. We would always explore parks and find things to bring home and hide them from my mom. And so I kind of married those two ideas together and sprinkled a little magic on it, and voila, The Last Dinosaur.
Okay. Well, you've piqued my interest. What kinds of things did you bring home and hide from your mom? All kids have different things that they did. All kids all sneak and do different things. And so, what's
Yeah.
the most memorable thing? Let's say that
Probably a turtle. But the turtle was the size of a tire. And we found it, we found it in a ravine. And we got that home. Ducks.
Did you use a wagon?
We used a bucket.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
We used a bucket.
Oh, use the bucket. Okay.
We
Okay.
did. So yeah, there were a lot of things that we brought home and hid from her. And so really the story is about the past and the present coming together and putting together a story, an adventure that puts a young Black boy in the center of it, because you don't see very many books, action and adventure, with Black boys as the protagonist, and that was really important to
Mm-hmm. That's true. That was something else that stood out. Your book was a topic that we don't normally see with children's books with Black kids. And then you had a little boy too, which is important. A lot of parents, there seems to be uh, a limited number of books where Black boys are the central characters.
me. I was wondering what interests you all about my story, because it is so different from the other two finalists, and those books are beautiful. I am so grateful to be amongst the two of them. Um, and win or not, it's really exciting to be recognized amongst such good other authors. Really grateful for them.
Yeah,
It
well, when we
says a
look
lot
at the
about you.
books, it does. But when we look at the books, the panel, we're looking for quality. That's the first thing. The quality of the art, the quality of the cover. The cover is the thing that grabs your attention first. Now, some books have a nice cover, and then the inside does not measure up to the cover, but it starts with the cover.
Yeah.
So, and also when you do this for a number of years, you start to get the same kinds of topics over and over every year. People talk about the same things. And your book was different. So that helped too. The quality is what brought it to the forefront first.
Thank you very much. That's another. I primarily write in action and adventure, fantasy, and sci-fi, because we are such a minority in those genres for children's books.
Mhm.
We have a lot. Oftentimes, when you go into the children's section, you see a lot of historical nonfiction, even for children, and those books are important. But there are other stories to be told, and I really think that reading should be fun, and that they should have fun options, and also
Allowing kids
I
to be
agree.
kids.
I
it allows
agree.
kids to be kids. Absolutely, it allows them to imagine, and it also them seeing themselves in those spaces gives them permission to dream, and
Yes.
and it shows them that they belong in every story.
Mhm. Yeah, you know, imagination is what brings most of the inventions that occur, things that people create. It's based on somebody's imagination. Just think about the Wright brothers imagining birds flying and creating the airplane. If they hadn't done that, who knows when the airplane would have been invented? You know, we might still be just driving, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody hadn't have sat there and looked at birds and thought, hmm, we could do that, you know, and you know, rockets and everyday items that we use, household items that we use, you know, every day, an iron, for example, or just vacuum cleaners, just things that we use all the time. Somebody imagined it first. The imagination came first before the engineering or the model was made or anything. So we need our kids to be in imagination mode
Absolutely.
on a regular basis. And they'll only be kids for a short time. You know, a human being is an adult for a long time if they live, you know, the years that a normal set of years. But they're only kids for a short period of time. And that should be a happy time, you know, a
Very
joyous time, a
true.
stress-free time. You know, it's much, you know, it should be peaceful. It should be, you know, you should be looking forward to every day.
Yeah. Looking forward to a new adventure.
Yes. So what are some of your other books about?
So I have The Last Dinosaurs, like I said, that's a series. That's actually 3 books. I also have my Galactic Adventure series, which it's actually 4 books, Galactic Adventure 1 and Galactic Adventure 2. So part 1, it's a parallel story, the quest to find little green friends, and Zod, the little alien who believes in humans. And Ryan is on Earth looking, he's convinced aliens exist and he's looking everywhere for them. And then on the other side of the universe at the same time, you have Zod trying to convince his alien friends that humans actually exist. So they take a journey across the universe and they eventually discover each other. And then they have adventures from there. So
Well, it
that's
sounds like you have a very active imagination.
Now, what
That's,
gives you that imagination, though? I mean, you've got to continue to think on a kid's level, so to speak, so you can
Mhm,
write these stories.
mhm. Yeah, everything gives me inspiration. Oh, well, my grandson again, he has a thing for aliens. And my son actually, they live down in Georgia, and my son actually uh, used like an old clothes hanger thing in back and had a little uh, flying saucer going through the backyard to make him think that aliens were actually there. So I thought that it would be fun to actually have a story where he actually met the aliens. So that was the inspiration for that one. I also have another series that's just starting, the Five Fairy Sisters, and that story was inspired by my mother and her 4 sisters. I've lost one of my aunts, and we're all getting older, and they have such a beautiful relationship, that I wanted a way to keep them together.
oh, that's really, really sweet.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, my mother was from a big family. There were 10 girls and
Oh
5
wow!
boys. Yeah, but there's only one left now.
You
Out of
said
all,
10 girls and 5 boys.
uh-huh. And no twins, no twins. So my grandmother, she was pregnant all the time. I'm assuming it had to be because they're close in age, you know. But there's only one left. I have one
Mhm.
Aunt Lois left, and she's in her 80s, and she's the youngest. she was the youngest sibling.
Yes. So, I have two uncles also, and we still have all of them except for one aunt. We miss her. But yeah, this keeps them together for forever. So that was the inspiration for that.
Now, where did you grow up? It sounds like you may have grown up in an area that wasn't urban, because if you were finding turtles and ducks and animals.
I grew up
Yeah,
in Virginia.
that sounds a little country.
Virginia. I grew up in Virginia, so yeah.
Oh, what
Which
part?
part?
Well, Norfolk, Chesapeake.
Okay, I'm from Newport News.
Oh wow, okay, right across the water.
Yeah, right across the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't bring turtles, but we did bring other things. We always wanted a dog, but my parents wouldn't let us have one. But we found one dog and we tied it up in the backyard, thinking that my parents wouldn't notice. And then we got the sex wrong. We didn't even understand the genders of dogs. So we called the dog Ben, and it was a girl. And we didn't find that out until the dog across the street started humping on it. That was a shocking thing.
Oh my.
So we didn't know. But my mom, they called the pound and they took the dog away. But we had given it a bath, and we had it for about a couple of weeks, hiding it out, hiding it. But they found out. And so it was a small dog. I'm gonna next time I talk to my sister, I'm gonna ask her if she remembers that. Because see, we named the dog Ben, but we found out it was a girl.
Well,
So anyway,
you just had to come up with a name that's a girl name that Ben is short for.
yeah. Well, the dog, the pound took Ben. So what, we hope she ended up in a good home. We don't know, but the area is primarily, it's not rural, but it's near the water. All of that area is surrounded by water.
Oh yeah.
So there's always lots of ducks and fish and jellyfish, crabs, any kind of wildlife that's in water. And so we used to love that. We lived like a block from the beach.
Oh wow, okay. I have a series, The Splashtastic Adventure. There's only one book in the series right now though, and it's about a little boy who grew up in Norfolk.
Okay.
Where I started, and we went to the beach all of the time, but I was the one who was just running around playing on the sand because I was afraid of the water. And in this story, it's a little boy who loves the beach, but he's afraid of the water, and he finds a special shell. And the water is calling him, and he ventures into the water and he realizes he can swim and he can open his eyes and everything. So he goes and he jumps off the pier and he explores the Chesapeake Bay. And the sea creatures that he's coming in contact with are not intentionally pulling him further and further away, but that is what's happening until he ends up in the Atlantic Ocean. So the kids learn all about the bay, all about the sea life in the bay, and then they learn about sea life all throughout the Atlantic Ocean because he takes some wrong turns and then he ends up exploring every bit of it. But when he finally gets back home and out of the water, he had an awesome adventure. A little mermaid shows up and she's looking for him because there's trouble in the Pacific. And that's where book 2. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So again, home inspires that, that is the inspiration. My stories from childhood.
Right. Did you grow up in Norfolk?
I did.
So which high school did you go to?
Lake Taylor. I went to a couple different high schools.
Okay. Okay.
Gordon Lake Taylor.
Okay. I graduated from Warwick.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't grow up in that area. I did live in Virginia Beach for a couple of years though.
Did you really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Virginia Beach was kind of off the beaten path when I was growing up. And
Yeah,
then it
that's
just
for
blew
me
up.
though.
It blew up. Like then all of a sudden it became like a big city. But
I went to Virginia Beach last year for the 4th of July. It was
Mhm.
so packed. It was like waves of people. I mean, it felt like the people were moving in waves. It was just so many people there. I was like, I don't know if I can do this again.
Yeah, I loved going to the boardwalk, but
Yes.
not during the crowded. It's like
Yeah.
I like going in the evening during the week. I would go out with my roller
Yes.
skates.
Yes.
It's just so nice down there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And the weather's really beautiful. The
It is.
summer is mild, for the most part. So 80 degrees in the summer is about the summer
Well,
day.
okay, you're in Texas, right?
Well, yeah, I'm in Texas now, but I'm saying when I was growing up in Newport News,
Okay.
it was about 80 degrees during the day. I mean, we didn't. Now, is it warmer now?
It's a lot warmer. It really is. I mean, I would say during the summer, 90 is probably average.
Oh,
Yeah, and and you get that rain that comes from the heat, So my mom, she's still there. She's down in Chesapeake, and all of my aunts are there. So, I still have family there. I'm in Delaware,
oh, okay,
but
okay,
I do go down often. So,
yeah. Yeah, I haven't been in a while, but we've been having some. Well, it's been 100 plus here for the last 2 weeks, and we haven't had any rain. We are just like praying for rain at this point, and we're
I,
trying to. It's been so hot, and we
mm,
have.
It
It's
rained
not
here over the
dry.
weekend.
Yeah, the it's like the rain is all up north.
mm,
Nothing's coming
Yeah.
down here.
But
It's just heat.
Minta, I'm not in Texas. So
No, she's not.
yeah, Gwen's experience is different from mine. Wait, what?
Yeah.
where are you?
Oh, okay. I'm in the DC area. I'm in
Oh,
the DMV.
Mhm.
okay. Well, yeah, I'm in DMV.
What? Where you at?
I'm in Delaware.
Is that considered the DMV?
No, that's not considered the DMV. That's not
Okay.
even the DMV is DC, Maryland, Virginia.
That's what it stands for. The D, the M, and the V.
Border Maryland. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you close, you close.
I'm
I
very close.
was in I was in Delaware this past weekend.
Were you really? What were you in Delaware for?
I was in Wilmington at the Noma Library.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
did the
for the
brand new one.
so what now?
The brand new library.
Yes, yes, for the creators tour. The library is supposed to have their official grand opening
Mhm.
this weekend, I believe.
Yep. Yep. That's about 15 minutes from me.
Oh wow, I
Oh,
wish I
that's
had known.
close.
I know. I know.
Close. Yeah,
Yeah,
Delaware is so small
it is.
that you would miss it. Like it's a minute wide. But it's probably quaint.
Yes.
It's probably quaint.
Um,
It's like we could fit Delaware in our county probably.
yeah,
Because our
probably.
county has 5 million people.
Yeah.
Harris County is one of the most populous counties in the country, and that's what I live in Harris County, Texas, and is we have 5 million people in Harris County. But they're spread out. It's not congested at all.
Mhm.
Spread out everywhere. So anyway, we're at the end of our time, and so show your book, The Last Dinosaur, one more time, and congratulations again on being a finalist.
Thank you so
And
Yeah,
much.
it's
yeah.
a really beautiful cover. That dinosaur just looks like it's just gonna reach out to you.
Yeah, and you can tell it's a baby dinosaur.
It's a
You know,
baby.
Yes.
yeah. So
But
that really,
he grows
yeah.
up.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Congratulations again, and keep writing. I didn't know you had 20 books, so congrats on that. Keep and those you're so creative with your stories, an amazing imagination.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that really much. And
Okay,
thanks for having me.
Thank you
you're
for being
welcome.
here. Have a great one. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, that's the end of our show for this week, and um, the only housekeeping note that I'll say for now is that we'll have a show next week, which is September 1st, but Labor Day is the following Monday. So that Tuesday on the 8th, we won't have a show because of the Labor Day week. And then we'll be back on September 15th. So that's it for this week. And we appreciate you all tuning in. And we'll see you next Tuesday on another episode of Black Authors Matter TV. I'm Gwen Richardson signing off.
And I'm Dr. Rhonda Lawson. Have a wonderful evening and a great week.
Thank you for tuning in and join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for another edition of Black Authors Matter TV.